term because data, when we speak about data, it's a huge area, right? So it can be data that is dealing, so it can be of various domain, like you talk about retail, you talk about banking, it can be static, it can be dynamic data, so it all depends. So we'll go there slowly, but before that, what do we have? So I think the key points to remember when we start our journey or think of starting our journey as a data engineer is to identify your strength. What do I mean by that? It's a very vague and it's a very relative term. Identify your strength, and please remember again that whatever I speak today, it is basically something that has to do with my own experience when I grew up in this industry, and with all the experiences I have and exposures I have got a chance to get exposed to. Okay, so identify your strength. What does that mean? Meaning, do you really want to be a data engineer around the specific domain? Because it is very important, because when you become a data engineer, you have the word data in it. So it's very, very important that you are having an interest, aspiration, and to think through the data and do a proper analysis of it. So do you really see yourself there, or how do you identify yourself with the analysis of the data, or to deal with data which can be large set and which can be a very commonly known term, big data, right? So that is very important thing for you to identify and to think through, because depending on that, it decides you to be a data analyst, a data architect, or a data engineer to develop those architectural aspects that comes through. Choose your technology stack wisely. It's very important, because if you are already comfortable with a particular technology stack, for example, if I give my example, all through my career, I have been aligned to the Microsoft technology stack. So when I work, or whatever work I have done so far, is majorly around one technology stack. So when I think through and I try to align myself, it's important that I think that whether I'm ready to pick myself up with a new technology stack altogether, or I want to stick to the technology stack that I already working on. So choose your technology stack wisely. Focus on use cases, real-time scenarios. This is very important. So mostly when we start learning things and when we start to aspire things, the basic thought that we have in our mind is, let's go get some documents, let's read through it, go through the channels, YouTube channels, all the videos, which is very good nowadays, because when we were growing up, we didn't had all these options, honestly. Go through those, learn, and then make ourselves ready. Trust me, that is very important. But at the same time, every time you learn anything from anywhere, be it a piece of document, be it a piece of your understanding from a video, or anywhere you are getting any understanding, try to relate it with a real-time scenario. Like, say, for example, if I just give you one example, for example, I'm working in a project which is in a retail domain, and what we are trying to do, we are trying to migrate the data from the on-prem to the cloud, right? Now, when somebody comes to me and tell me, okay, fine, tomorrow you have, from tomorrow, you just have to start working on, say, some Azure technology. What do? I will go through the documents available over the internet. I'll start going through the various amazing YouTube videos, amazing, documents that we have around. But at the same time, I need to think through that what I'm learning, is it aligning to my use cases? Because we have a huge volume of information available with us in today's world. You need to pick and choose that wisely, otherwise you might get lost when you start your journey, and that might lead to you to a situation where you might think, no, should I really go ahead, is it really difficult? So you should not be getting into that dilemma. So choose your technology stack wisely and then align yourself with the use cases or the area that you want to focus on. Then always be updated on the new technologies. This is very important. Trust me, in today's world, the way things are moving, things are growing, and the way the the clients are also, educated nowadays. It's very important that you have those information always with you. It's not necessary that you have to be like ready with everything, you have to learn everything end to end, no, but at least you should be updated about those new technologies evolving around you, around the technology stack that you are focusing on. Invest time on upskilling. Trust me, as I already said, this is my 15th year in the in this industry, and I have a target every second month to complete some certification, to upskill myself, and to make sure that I am ready for the next project. So you need to always be on your toes for upskilling. It's very important. Please make sure that you have that trust inside you that will help you to become a good data engineer. And of course, above all, we should need to be very, very focused on a fact that we need to maintain our work-life balance, because if you are not peaceful from mind, it doesn't help you in any way. So please make sure that is always being taken care of. Moving on, where to start? So students, so as I said earlier in the beginning of this conversation, that I am having an assumption that we have audience where we have people who want to start their journey, or we might have people who has already started but trying to change the track of work and become a data engineer. So if we are deciding to start our journey as a data engineer, so first you need to identify your key interest areas, because are you really interested in data analysis? Are you really interested in learning technologies? Are you really interested in developing codes, or are you really interested in being architecture? So that's something. Start gathering knowledge, we already discussed. Focus on certifications, it's very important. Please make sure you have your focus on certifications and you are getting yourself up to date with that. It matters. And as I already said, try to have some hands-on knowledge. Nowadays it's very easy, you can log into, I'll come to those examples. You have many opportunities where you can create your own account, get a trial version, which will not going to cost you any money, and then you can use that, leverage that, and have some hands-on knowledge and do some POCs, because that's where you actually get to see what you learned through the documents and through the videos. Are you really able to implement that? Because when you become a data engineer, it's all about implementation, right? So that's the point. For the people who are already experienced in the industry and want to change their area of interest or track of interest, it's important again that you decide what is your area of interest, what is your current project experience, because that really helps. And then whether you have the opportunity to upskill, because when you are working in a project, as I already told you, that I have been not able to give create a detailed PPT today, because I am like sloshed with my project work. So so you need to think, like, do you have that opportunity to upskill yourself? If yes, what is the rate? Like, can you upskill yourself in a month, or you have a pressure of work which will going to take you some time? So decide that and have that planning accordingly. And of course, certifications and aspirations goes common for all of us. All right. Now, when we say data engineer, and standing in 2023, if we when we are talking today here in this platform, and we talk about data engineer, I think the first thing that comes in most of us our mind is the technology, and especially the term cloud technology, right? So I will go to speak from my experience again, where I have been a data engineer who have worked in the on-premise technologies, and then when slowly, gradually, the technology started evolving, and it became a popular term in the industry, and all the big clients started migrating their data to the cloud. So how that helps and how that gets impacted to you as a data engineer. So if you see in today, the most of the industry and the most of this big companies and the MNCs and the IT industry that is working around, we have a very, very common very common work alignment, and that's a migration. So we say data migration. You can hear this term a lot nowadays. So what exactly it is happening, and how it is impacting the data engineers, and why I as a data engineer should get myself aligned to this cloud technology, and how it's going to help us to grow as a data engineer, of course. So if you see the scenario nowadays, so everybody, all the big the big lines, all the retail industry, be it retail industry, banking, finance, healthcare, so everybody has data, and they want to maintain that data, because that is what runs their business. If today there is say for example, there's a very common retail chain, and they have some issues around maintaining their data, they might lose millions of their business, because they have the data accessibility to the entire world through their e-com systems, through their stores in the chains of store they have. So how do they maintain this data? Now gradually it became an issue, because this data are all transactional data, and this data keeps on growing day by day, right? So having a maintenance of this data, and to maintain that data, to have those infrastructure at your place, to have a proper team to look after the infrastructure, a proper team to maintain those data, everything started becoming an headache, right? And that's where this entire concept of cloud evolved, where there are three main providers who came into the market, and they said, okay, fine, we take care of your problems. So you can, we have built a system where we can either provide you the infrastructure, we can also provide you the platform to have maintain your data, as well as to do some development on top of that, and to have growth around it. We can also provide you softwares, for which all you have to do is you just have to pay us, and we provide you it from the background, right? And that's where we have today three, we specially mention about these three big giants, and we say Microsoft, who has cloud technologies provided through a term called Azure. Then we have GCP, the Google Cloud Platform, and of course the Amazon AWS, right? So how this is impacting us, because I again want to stick back to our topic for today, because we can speak a lot around this, because this is what I do day in, day out. But I just want to stick back to the topic of how to become a data engineer. So sticking back to that topic, how this is important in your life as a data engineer. all the work in the IT industry going around and evolving around this cloud technologies, right? Because as I said, it helps you to get rid of your infrastructure overheads. So most of the retail people, banking people, finance people, healthcare people, they are trying to take advantage of this. And as a reason, they want their data to be migrated from the on-premise to the cloud. So basically, they don't want to keep at their end and take care of it from the infrastructure perspective. Rather, migrate it to the cloud where the infrastructure is either taken care by Microsoft or Google or Amazon, and then they work on top of it. So if you want to become a data engineer, especially now where we are standing and talking, it is very important for you to get yourself updated with this technology. It's on you to decide whether you want to learn Azure or GCP or AWS, or you want to learn all. Because the end of the day, it works in a similar fashion. But of course, each of these providers has their own pros and cons, and of course, how do I say it? Of course, the functional speciality, right? So think about it. As a data engineer in today's market, where the major work is about data analytics, data migration, data science, AI, what is the thing that I want to align myself to? You want to become a data scientist, you want to become a data analyst, you want to become I already said, right, data architecture. But what is your choice of technology? Because you need to understand one thing, that you should be what, that is what I believe, that see, because see, my, as I said already in the beginning, right, my technology stack is Microsoft, and for that reason I work with Azure technology in cloud. But that doesn't mean that I don't indulge myself from learning of what is happening around Google Cloud or AWS, right? But then I need to make sure of the fact that if I am a data engineer and I am working for I am working in projects which deals with Azure technologies, I need to make sure that I have an end-to-end understanding on that. Because if I say today that, okay, fine, I work in Azure, I do understand what is Azure Data Factory, but I don't know what is Azure Databricks. I don't know what is that. I can't you That's not how it works, right? So if you start learning something, align yourself, make sure you understand that particular stack end to end. And then, of course, you should go and see that, okay, look, for example, me, I work with Azure, I try to learn everything around it. And then, of course, I do have the interest of going and see, okay, fine, it works like this in Azure. How does it works in GCP? How does it works in AWS? And then you have tons of materials available over the internet. But first, align yourself. To become a data engineer, you need to align yourself, because as I already said, there are a lot of technologies available, a lot of choices. You should not get into a situation where you don't have a clear direction of movement. So to become a data engineer, you need to have an interest around data, which is, of course, it's very explicit. The terms itself says about that. And then you need to understand, if I want to have myself aligned to a cloud technology, what's that? And how do I do that? And how do I have my hands-on experience around that? Because if we talk about Azure, if you register yourself with Microsoft, you can create your account, you get a trial version of 1 month, you can use that, you can just play around, you can see how it works, right? So please make sure that you have those understanding, do that. And that's where your journey will going to start, because there's no end to this learning. Trust me, as I said, right? Today also, I just before I came here, I was in one of the meeting, and I was being asked a question for which I didn't had a ready-made answer, because honestly, I was not aware of it. So there are so many things that you might not know, but doesn't matter. As long as you know that, yes, you will want to learn that out and have that understanding. Advantage of being a data engineer, as we already said, opportunities of continuous learning and upgrades, because it is continuously evolving, upgrading, and you have so many options to learn, to upskill yourself, and to become a good data engineer. Of course, high availability of jobs, because as I already spoke, this is a very hot topic nowadays in the market. People really are interested around these areas. So you have a lot of, you can see there are a lot of jobs available around. People do really want to have data engineers in the team, because end of the day, they will be the people who will be understanding the data and helping it to develop in a way required by the client, and make it available in much easier format, right? Readable format. Because when we talk about data engineering and we say like, okay, fine, bring that data, why do they want the data? So they bring the data, and they don't want to do some transformation on top of that, so that it becomes easily readable to the people and to the important stakeholders of that company, by generating reports. We have seen BI reports all around. It's very happening thing now, right? We get you have BI, so many BI report tools like Tableau, etc., right? Sorry, my bad. Okay, so you have a lot of jobs around. Of course, it gives you good money, so you are good there, because end of the day, we all work for, of course, one of the reason that we work for is we want to earn money also. And we, whoever denies that, I don't think is saying the right thing, right? So of course, that's a factor. And there's many more. So it's apart from being, jokes, when I say many more, it's many more, because you get to, you have a continuous opportunity of evolving as a data engineer. You just need to understand and stick to the alignment, and then you have so many options to have a continuous evolution of you being a data engineer. You can and of course, then you have your own options of understanding that, whether, how do I place it, like, you get that experience as a data engineer, and then you come to a place where you have your thoughts so clear around it that you start proposing solutions. So there's a lot that you can do as a data engineer. There's no end to it, and I'm not sure if I can explain you all this with one single discussion that we are here having here. But end of the day, I want to tell you all that if any one of us here is little skeptical of the fact that, oh my god, this is such a big thing, should I be a data engineer, should I even think about it, please do not have that in your mind. I had that in my mind when I started my career, and I don't know from where I became a data engineer, but now I really enjoys the fact that I'm a data engineer. So when we started the session, right, it was been told that I work as a data architect manager, data modeling lead, data engineer lead, etc., etc. So it's not about how many terminologies you have added to your resume. It's about how you are aligned, and how open you are to take up challenges. Because when I say that I have worked as a data model lead, trust me, it's a quick example that I just want to share with you all. So in one of my organization, um, I was being told, so I joined as a data engineer, that organization, and I was having an understanding that, okay, fine, I'll be working as a data engineer. But then I was being given a challenge where there was a new project that we were kicking off, and I was being told that um, I was being told by my manager that my leadership team, that they want me to work as a data modeler in this particular project, because they think that I can take up this challenge. And this was a challenge that was thrown to me. I honestly was scared in the beginning. I should not lie. I will not lie. I was scared. But then the point is, are you really ready to take these challenges when you are a data engineer? And I said, okay, fine. End of the day, if I am a data engineer, I understand how data works. If I can think through what I want out of my data as an engineer to develop it, so I should be clear with my modeling sense also, right? Because end of the day, whatever data model will going to get created, that will be consumed by the data engineer. So I have an added advantage here, that I have that thought process already with me, that I have worked as a data engineer. I, as a data engineer, know what I want from my data model to look like, so that I can build my I can do my development and build my uh, you know process accordingly, right? And that's where I took the challenge. And yes, fortunately, I had many good people, leaders around me who helped me out, and we were able to deliver that successfully. So it's not about what you are working in, but it's more about how open you are to take up the challenge. That's very important, and that you always have to have in you when you become a data engineer, because you never know what is coming to you, right? I'll give you one more last example. I'll just quickly check the time. I think we are almost there. We need to have QA sessions also. So just this last experience I'll share, and I'll open the forum for the question answer. So yeah. So why you should always be ready with your experience, sorry, why you should always be ready with your ready to have the challenges, is because when you are a data engineer, you never know what's coming to you, right? So say for example, when we work in we have been told, okay, fine, let's all come together, there's a project and we are working into it, we have a technology stack identified, decided, and then we say, okay, let's start. So how do you work as a data engineer? So you have your design been created by your architecture team, and then you get the direction and you start working, right? But then what if, say for example, I'm just giving a random example, okay? So say for example, you are working with Azure technology, Azure stack, and you are ready to work around that, because you know the design is around that, your project requirement is around that. But what if suddenly your client comes and say, okay, fine, we thought we will be going with the Azure technology stack, but now we feel that no, we should not be sticking to Azure, but some other technology XYZ. What do you do as a data engineer? You leave the ground and run? No. So that's where is the strength of a data engineer. So we pick that up, we say yes, we learn it, we gather information, we try to get SMEs help, and then we dive into it. So the moral of the story is, if you become a data engineer, be ready to accept challenges at any point in time, be ready to have your alignment with the technologies that you have, be ready to learn more, to upskill yourself, and most importantly, be ready to make sure that above all, you need to focus on your work life balance and you have that sanity of mental peace with you. Okay. I think I have spoken a lot and now I should stop. So, yes, I rest my case. And thanks for listening to me.
Thanks a lot, Basundhara Ghosal. On behalf of Analytics Vidya, I would like to thank you for your time and for delivering such a wonderful session. I am sure our audience found it insightful and hopefully we can conduct more such sessions with you in future.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, yeah. I hope you guys have filled in the feedback poll. If not, I request you to please fill in that poll about feedback as it helps us to conduct more such sessions. The recording of the session will be available within 2 days on our YouTube channel and the link are shared in the chat section. We will be back with another session of Data Hours on 4th March. The link is in the chat section. Till then, bye-bye and keep learning everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for participating. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you.